And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first episode of the End of the Week Podcast. It is 2016, and we are ready to have ourselves a good time. We've got our roundtable of hosts here. We've got Black Fox. John.
Hello.
We've got Nate.
How you doing, folks?
We've got Jen.
Hello, dear.
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 And I am your host, TBL, or Sean, whatever you want to call me. And we've got a pretty good show for you guys today. But, you know, the show is going to be... It's going to be kind of a simple-minded, simple-formatted show. We're going to start things off talking about what games we've been playing over the past week, and then we're going to be diving into gaming news. The podcast should go on for a little bit more over, somewhere in between 45 minutes to an hour. We don't want to bore you guys with a bunch of old men and a J sitting around talking about video games. But first things first, welcome to 2016. How was you guys' New Year's?
Very nice. I spent it with a little bit of family and watching video games on the internet, so every single day.
That's a pretty good way to spend your time. I mean, that's the same here for me and Jay. You know, we pretty much just, I had to work New Year's Eve, as I usually do. But
Same.
Well, so did I.
yeah, but first day of the new year, we spent it eating food and playing video games. What about you, John?
Pretty much the same thing, except I had to watch blowout football games.
Oh, yeah.
There was some bad football.
Whole lot of that going on today, man. Whole lot of that.
Yeah, my sympathy.
Yeah,
I mean,
really?
I wanted to watch some good football. There just wasn't any good football. It was just bad.
Bad stuff all around. A great start to the NFL in 2016, huh?
It was a college. NFL's, I think.
Oh, man, there were
2
some
days
bad
from now.
college games today, too.
Yeah, and my Steelers goosed on last Sunday. All right, let's not get into that. Screw the Ravens. If you're a Ravens fan, no hate, but we...
This
we
just in, we're going to be starting up a new podcast called the End of the Sports Podcast 2016.
I'm sorry.
Couldn't even get through the first episode.
Couldn't even make it to
just
the first
became a new
episode.
podcast.
We've already got a branch off for a derivative. But all right, let's talk about some of the games we've been playing. It feels like I haven't played anything since last year. That's a weird feeling. Weird. Nate, why don't you go ahead and get us started? What have you been playing?
Okay. Well, there's two major games in my life right now. One I'm not necessarily playing this week, but kind of took over my whole life for a while. So, and that'd be Undertale. I played Undertale a month or two ago, less than that, about a month, and it's just consumed my life since. Let's Plays, Tumblr, all that stuff. just I love Undertale, and it was a fantastic experience.
Undertale really seems to be one of the breakout stars from late 2015, and it's the Earthbound-style RPG that was programmed by, one guy?
One guy, Toby Fox, and he had a little bit of help from someone named Tim, and together they made just this awesome RPG in which you can play it as a complete pacifist. You refuse to hurt anyone. There's no killing whatsoever. You can't level up because you're not hurting anyone. And you just go through the whole game making friends and trying to solve problems peacefully. Or you can play the other end where you slaughter absolutely everyone. Where it's you have to kill every single boss. You have to kill enemies in every area until they stop spawning. And you just get ridiculously powerful and crazy, and it's really interesting, and it's more of a horror take on the story. So that's Undertale, and I've been playing that, or I had played that a lot, and I'm poking around with the idea of going back and playing through the Genocide run, which is that evil path I was talking about. The other game in my life right now is Monster Hunter Cross.
Yes!
And Monster Hunter Cross is so freaking amazing. If you're a big fan of Monster Hunter, there's no word right now as to whether or not the game is coming to America. So if you haven't already looked it up yourself, let me just give you a quick overview. Monster Hunter Cross blends together 4 different villages from previous Monster Hunters, mixed with 4 hunting styles, Bushido, Aerial, Striker, and Guild, where they all have their own unique movesets, mixed with 4 new flagship monsters. So kind of like your Legia Cruz or your Zinogre or what have you. There are 4 now, and they represent the 4 different monster hunters in this game. and it's just crazy. Like they also added something called hunting arts, which are like your supers, which Monster Hunter didn't have before. So like say with your gun lance, there's one where you can slam it into the ground behind you and ignite the blast to shoot you like a rocket at the monster, and then you do this big overhand swipe and cause a giant explosion at your feet. Like, I'm talking Final Fantasy levels of crazy supers.
John,
so
this pleases me.
This sounds like a John move. I can see him over there just doing the evil contemplation, rubbing his hands together like, yes.
I'm doing the evil scheme emote from Destiny, just like...
Yeah. Oh, man.
Now, if you mix that with all of your armor abilities, you just have crazy levels of customization. And if that's not enough for you, you can also now play as a Nyanta, which is your Palico. So you can play the entire game as a Palico, and they are crazy. Like you can play the whole game as them. There is no they're a little weaker, but they make up for it in other categories.
Like speed?
Like speed, maneuverability. They can dash while they have their weapon drawn. They have essentially infinite lives, but they have 3 goes before it counts as a cart. Mm-hmm. So they die once.
So they have 9 lives?
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly. What happens was when you die, you pull out something called Moichi Dongori, which is a once more acorn. And they eat that, and that brings them back to life. And also puts them into rage mode, so they start doing more damage as well. So you remember when you had Cha-Cha and Kiamba and you fed them a burnt steak and they went into rage mode?
Yeah.
That's basically what that is. The thing is, though, you can't bring any items for yourself. So all of your quote-unquote items are a loadout that you can pre-prepare. So you can bring hunting horns, and you don't consume them. You just have them forever, but you fill up a super meter, and you spend that meter to be able to use items. So it's balanced in that regard. So the more you get hit and the more you attack, the more it fills up, and the more you can heal people, or you can unleash crazy supers, throwing a whole bunch of stuff at the monster, or a javelin stab or something.
Yeah, so that's an interesting way to mix it out by not being able to bring traditional items. I'm guessing traps and stuff like that. You can just bring a set loadout that you build up into a super. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I need this in my life. I need it in my life so bad.
It's a fantastic game, and I won't go too far into it because I could talk forever about Monster Hunter. But if you are planning on importing the game, you do have to have a Japanese 3DS. So my recommendation is buying the Japanese 3DS and then downloading it off of the eShop. It's hassle-free. I was able to do it. No problems whatsoever. And you can play online with other Japanese people, so that's not a problem at all. But don't buy the game and try to plug it into your US 3DS, because it's not going to let you. So that's Monster Hunter Cross, and I've been loving the heck out of it. So how about you guys? What have you been playing?
Now, see, I on streams, we often make the joke, you hit the John button when you talk about things like Paper Mario. He didn't hear it, right? But Monster Hunter is one of those Sean buttons that just, and Monster Hunter Cross looks so good. It looks so good.
I have a copy that I keep offering you, and you won't take it. I will. You give me the address to send it to, I will send it tonight.
You know what? Fine. Okay,
yes,
fine,
yes,
Nate.
Yes, I like
fine.
this. I like these words.
All right, fine.
This is
Thank
pleasing
you,
to
Nate.
me.
We'll get that going, because I need to play this game. I really do. But all right, we're going to get stuck on Monster Hunter if you guys let me talk about it, because
You hear that, folks? We're getting Monster Hunter on the channel.
Monster
It's
Hunter.
official.
Yeah, finally. I think we've had one Monster Hunter video in the past year, and it was a live stream where we talked about Monster Hunter Cross.
We've had a couple live streams.
Have we?
Yeah,
on
we
Twitch.
were
On Twitch
2
we
or
have.
3.
You're right. Oh, man, I still have that 3DS, don't I?
Yeah.
I need to use it. But all right, John, what have you been playing this week, man?
Probably about the same thing as you. To be
Destiny
and Black Ops 3, mostly. Actually, a couple weeks ago, I did make a pact to myself that I need to play through Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch for a second time. I played that game in 2 years.
This man's getting
That game.
He's getting
Did I-
ready. He's getting
did I
ready for the
hit the
sequel.
Did I hit the Nate button?
You hit a Nate button.
Man
sorry.
after my own heart. That game is so fantastic.
It's my number 2 game of all time.
I was about to say,
for a reason.
isn't that one of your favorite RPGs of all time?
My favorite RPG of all time. Behind that's Persona 3, and behind that is
Big.
I think either Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy 6, one of the two.
Persona 3 over Persona 4, that's a first for me.
I don't like the atmosphere in Persona 4. I like the ominous, dark atmosphere that's in 3.
So what you're telling me is you don't like being a part of the Scooby-Doo team? Like,
No.
you don't like that?
No.
Mystery
I like
Inc.
fighting gods. Like, I like going into a tower and being just left in the dark. Just being like, okay, I know shit's just going down. I gotta beat some mans, I gotta advance floors, and I gotta body bag some, like, creepy-looking monsters. Yeah.
That's fair.
So you're preparing yourself for the sequel then?
Persona 5, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but it's not gonna come out until, like, the end of this year, probably. Which I'm
If
hyped
even.
for.
There's a lot of things
If-
coming out this year. Yeah.
If even, yeah. But anyway, back to Ni no Kuni. I haven't played that game in, like, I think last February or it was 2 Februarys ago. This was 2014 was the last time I played it. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. I just sat down and I said, okay, so this is basically an arena-style RPG like Tales with familiars like Pokemon that you can level up and evolve. And, yeah. Sean, have you not played it?
Look, I got Ni no Kuni on the
Not
PS3.
like
I never played it. I played it. I watched
Oh
other people
my
play
God.
it. I listened to the
Amazing game.
music from it, but I never played Ni no Kuni. So I'm hearing Tails battle system with Pokemon. Huh?
Yeah.
Arr?
Basically. And you bring up the music because Joe Hisashi is one of the best composers of all
Oh
time.
yeah, absolutely.
One of the
Tangri's
best.
theme, man.
Studio
Tangri's
Ghibli.
theme.
Yeah. Studio Ghibli, like art direction, music, etc., etc., etc.
They the homie.
Yeah, they're the homie. If you like Howl's Moving Castle or Kiki's Delivery Service or My Neighbor Totoro, if you like any of those, this game is basically that turned into an RPG. It is.
Any of you youngsters out there, it's from the same developers as Yokai Watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there. You might recognize that for the younger Nintendo fans out there. Yeah.
But I made a pact to myself that I need to replay it, and I've been just kind of off and on for the past week or so, just playing it like 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there. I didn't go full grind mode on it yet, but I probably will by the end of the week because I've only got this weekend left, and then I go back to class. So,
Gotta
Can I
spend
make
that
a
time.
guess?
Yeah.
Did you saw that trailer?
yes, I did, and that's
Yeah.
why I'm gonna go back and play it.
Ni no Kuni 2, or at least I think there might have been another one that came out in Japan that we didn't get. The one for PS4 just looks godlike.
Yeah, it does. We got the first trailer for that at what, PSX? I want to
Yes.
say.
PSX
Looked good.
PS reveal trailer, yeah.
It looked
I
good.
thought it was all CG. I didn't think that it could be gameplay, and I was wrong.
blissfully incorrect.
But yeah, Sean, on to you. What have you been playing?
All right. Well, for me, I've been rotating 3 games, and for you guys on the channel, you already know what they are because you watch videos of most of them every single day. You know, we did just have the end of Sparrow Racing League last week. Been getting a lot of time in that, and just trying to get some more 320 gear, as many helmets as I can to get over to my different characters. But more importantly, I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Black Ops 3. It's not a bad game. It's a great game, but I'm having like a love-hate relationship with the multiplayer here. And Jay's been playing most of the same games as me, so I'm pretty sure he's got a lot to say about Black Ops 3 too. Are you ever going to talk?
I'm waiting for you guys to give me a chance.
Go, all right, Black Ops 3, what do you think?
Well,
Ladies and gentlemen,
And this is what editing is for, folks.
this is Jay.
just like what you said, like a love and hate relationship, but a whole lot of stuff happens. It's just,
It's not even so much the scrub-based matchmaking and backpacking teams anymore. Now it seems to be more of a focus on just, oh gosh, they need to work with their netcode because
They
the
really
connections are wonky right now.
it's like you just can't keep playing Black Ops if that's going to happen.
Not
you-
enjoy it. You
you
can't play it
need-
for a long time. Yeah,
Can I make an example real quick?
go for it.
You, Sean, have tried to convince me successfully to buy every Call of Duty since I think
Modern Warfare 3, I want to say.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 3 was probably the first one, and I've bought every one since then. At your recommendation, you have not once approached me about this game.
And that's kind of odd.
Trying to save
There you go. See, like that's
It's odd because Black Ops 3 is probably the best COD we've gotten in 3 years.
It's easily the best COD in the past 3 years since Black Ops 2, and it's a really good game. It's just the multiplayer right now is just a real cluster sometimes. I mean, yeah, every once in a while you can get on, you can have just a really good time. The connections are silky smooth and solid, but that's like maybe 30% of the time you're online. The other 70% of the time, it's really weird connections, just insta melts all over the place, and it can be kind of an exercise in futility for a little bit of time. But other than that, Black Ops 3 is a fantastic game. For a game at the end of 2015, it's got so much content in it. So much content. You've got the base game, you've got the campaign, you've got the secondary campaign, which unlocks after you beat the main story, and it's basically a zombies infiltrated campaign that completely changes the main story. It's got zombies. The zombies mode is fleshed out and is fantastic. It's got co-op, and the multiplayer mode, again, when it works, when it's smooth, it's super duper fun. But it's just the other times that can be like, it can be a little bit frustrating to play it sometimes. Other than that, I have really been jamming on Metal Gear Solid 5. I've beaten the story, I've gone through all of the missions, and I'm just going back doing the challenges and whatnot. The all-new challenge mode stuff went live, I think earlier last month. I think it was either the end of November or the beginning of December. Have any of you guys been on for the Metal Gear challenges?
No, I haven't touched Metal Gear since I beat it.
Yeah, Konami has pushed out a couple of updates, and Konami. Let's just skip that topic.
We'll talk about it later. Remember?
Yeah, I guess we can rail on Konami a little bit later. But
you mean a company that used to be Konami?
Yeah, the company formerly known as Konami.
Pachinko mans.
Pull the lever. But they've pushed out a couple of updates. We've gotten some new things. Metal Gear Online is continuing to be a thing. And I've just really been enjoying going through, getting the story missions done, developing some of the new weapons and armor pieces that are in the game now. And Metal Gear Solid 5, it's just such a fantastic game. It's criminally undone. The entire third arc of that game was essentially just not done. But other than that, it's just a really fantastic game, having a lot of fun on it. John, you still haven't made your way through the entirety of the story, have you?
Yeah, you gonna try and patronize me about it?
No, I'm just saying. Let me know
No,
when.
we just wanted to make sure that we didn't say that Big Boss was actually Solid Snake the whole time.
Yeah, we didn't want.
Whoops.
We didn't want to break off on the spoiler that Solid Snake went through time, first to the past, the far past, to punch the what was his name? Oh gosh, not the Fear. The Fear was Froggy Jumpy Man. The Sorrow.
The Sorrow.
He punched the Sorrow in the face, and that's why he's always bleeding from the eyes. And then he went forward in time and became Venom Snake for no real reason.
He was able to time travel because of the Snatchers.
Because of the Snatchers from Ground Zeroes.
I mean, when you think about it, we had the nano machines that can just pretty much trivialize time and space.
Alter
I'm gonna
reality.
have a cassette tape from 1999. It's called NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. I'm just gonna put it in your pool of tracks that you're gonna listen to. All right, game. That's cool.
Actually, that was vocal cord parasites, but
was it
brought over ID Tech
Parasites.
Oh, you've got to love Code Talker.
Whenever I hear nanomachines anymore, all I can think of is Dead On when Raiden stabs the guy.
Oh, Revengeance. Can we get a sequel to that?
Revengeance.
Oh, right.
Is great.
I would like a
love
sequel to Revengeance.
That will never, ever happen.
It better.
Oh, yeah, because fuck Konami. Konami can eat a bag of dicks. I don't like Konami. Revengeance, such a good...
It was.
Senator
it was
Armstrong
great.
has got to be
Wait. Don't mess with this senator.
Don't mess with that senator. He's got to be probably one of my favorite characters from the Metal Gear, even if he's not considered canon to the main storyline.
The story just does such a 180 the second he shows up.
Yeah, it goes from being this serious drama about Raiden, his identity as a person-man cyborg thing who has to come to terms with being a ruthless murderer, to being about this crazy American senator that even though he's a villain, you end up cheering for him every time he comes on screen. Oh, man. Can we get more Armstrongs in the gaming industry? I want more Armstrongs. Oh,
Fantastic
man. John,
boss.
did you ever play Revengeance?
I did not.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, imagine younger Tagoro, but with charisma.
big.
Yeah, he could give speeches, and he wants to be the president of the United States, and he it's so good.
Damn.
Look, I would just say go on YouTube and look up Senator Armstrong from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. That's all you need to do. Everything else will pan out. He's such a good character. It's so fantastic, and I love that. Who developed that? Was it who developed Metal Gear Rising?
Was it
That was
Platinum?
Platinum.
Was it
Games.
Platinum? Yeah, it was Platinum. That was what they did
Kamiya, big man.
before Bayonetta, which Bayonetta, that's another topic. But they did such a good job with it. It's a game that doesn't take itself seriously, and it's great for it. Mm-hmm. When you have Raiden running around, picking up Metal Gear Rays, throwing them into the air, jumping onto their railguns as they're flying away from them, and then cutting them into pieces, it's so good.
It sounds like fan fiction.
Yeah.
It's basically fan fiction, the video game.
Look, it's like if you were to go online right now and disclaimer, don't do what I'm about to say. If you were to go online and look up Sonic fan fiction, that's what Metal Gear Rising is to Metal Gear. It's just Metal Gear fan fiction. And again, don't do that. Don't look up Sonic fan fiction. Please
don't be like
that.
me.
Yo,
Don't
kill
do.
yourself.
This man lost like he lost like 5 years of his life to that.
Dude, I have Sonic fanfiction saved in my favorites right now.
Oh no.
Nate, no.
Not like this. Not on this podcast. We're not going to let this happen to another podcast. Man. Yep.
Yeah, fantastic game. I can't imagine they're ever going to make another one though.
Yeah,
Because, Nazi Konami is going to hold on to that forever.
I think Kamiya's working on Scalebound right now.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's the
what?
his
That's
next
the
project.
Platinum game they're working on, yeah.
Scale
Yeah, but I
down.
mean, they've taken side projects. Because,
What's that?
they just recently did that Transformers game.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's true.
it was actually good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was actually pretty darn good. Platinum has really been knocking it out of the park, except for that one game they developed. I think it was like last year sometime. It was so nonsensical.
Korra.
Yeah,
Korra
the
game.
Legend. Oh, the Legend of Korra was so bad. It was so bad.
Let's not forget, they're also co-developing Star Fox right now.
They are. Platinum, keep it up, man. We want you to. I want you to make a third-person action beat 'em up F-Zero. I want that in my life. Don't you?
Don't say that.
I do, though. That'd be great.
I'm putting it out on the internet right now. Platinum
it's coming
developing
out
a
already.
third-person spectacle fighting action beat 'em up F-Zero game where part of the game is racing. We can have Sega develop that part of the game. They did a great job with F-Zero GX. And then we just have the rest of the game, the story mode and stuff, is a third-person beat 'em up where you're Captain Falcon.
You
Putting
can't
hands.
do this to me. You can't do this to me.
I've had
oh my
this
God.
dream
Can
for
you imagine
years.
it's
Is
like
someone
the first 5 minutes of the game is Kid Icarus style, where it's like you're racing, and then you get to your destination, and then you're fighting on top of racing cars?
You're smacking people off into buildings, and the building explodes, and Falcon's just like,
someone
Just
hit your
another-
parked car.
Get some!
just another morning for Captain Falcon. I've wanted that so very much. So very much. But all right, are there any other games you guys want to talk about before we take a quick break?
I don't
But,
think so.
No.
Jay's got something. He's raising his hand like he's in
Yeah,
class.
yes, teacher.
You
yes,
may
teacher.
speak.
Well, you guys know that I'm a big zombie guy, so
Oh no.
oh yes.
One-Chan Bara? Is that what you're trying to tell
Yeah,
us?
Oni-chan Bara 3. Can I get that with the special Capcom jiggle effects? I said it. Go ahead, Jay.
But I went back and started playing Dying Light, and Dying Light's still a fantastic game. I
Yeah, it
love
is.
it.
It
And I
looked like
finally
it.
got you to play it, and you had a great time.
I'm not a big fan of zombie games, but Dying Light is really, really fun. It is really, really fun. And it's got the DLC coming out.
Which is what I was going to talk to.
Is it next month?
There is no release date for
No
it
release date?
yet.
Okay.
But
It looks
the
good.
new DLC, it looks fantastic. It's a whole new story, whole new map, and a new couple of zombies that's coming out as well.
Type of zombies. And
And-
it's substantial DLC too, because
Right.
I think the map because we saw all this at what, PSX, good conference. There's a lot of information in there, but I think they said that the DLC map is like twice the size of the base game.
It's a lot bigger than the normal map size.
That's how you do an expansion, because Dying Light was already a huge game, and if you haven't played it yet, I would definitely recommend it. If it's on sale right now, it's a decent little game to pick up. Kyle Crane is a bad man.
Expansion.
Expand dong.
Can I get
As long
that
as
Kyle
it's better
expansion?
than-
Crane definitely expands dong.
As long as it's better than Dead Island, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Dude,
Oh.
Dying Light is basically Dead Island done right.
If I remember right,
they finally got the formula
the
together.
same people who made.
Yeah, it's made by the same people. That's why the game is so similar. And it's like they finally got their act together, finally figured out how they were going to do it. And Dying Light, I will admit, it's really, really good. We need to go back and have another live
Dead
stream.
Island 2. It looks more cartoonish than anything.
It's okay.
Dead Island 2, even deader.
Dead Island 2, The Deadening, The Revenge. Something like that.
Cartoon.
But all right, we will take a quick break, and we will be right back with the EOTW podcast. And welcome back to the EOTW podcast. Last segment, we talked a little bit about the games we're playing, and now we're going to be picking up on the news. Or rather, what we consider news. It's not all recent news, but it's all stuff that has to do with the gaming industry. So what do we have first up? Uncharted 4. That got another delay.
It did.
Unfortunately.
This is like this is the second time it's been delayed, isn't it? I want to say.
Yeah, it's definitely not the first time. I remember they came out and gave a really, really, like, early release date, like before the end of 2015, and I don't think anybody bought that. That was to appease stockholders. So, I don't know. Like a game as big as Uncharted was gonna get delayed. It's kind of a given.
Yeah, because I want to say I remember them talking about the original release for it, and it being sometime in 2015. And it was exactly like you said. It was like there's no way that's going to happen. They said they were still in development just like a month or so ago, and with how Uncharted usually is, I just really wasn't surprised with the first delay, which pushed the game back to a March 2016 release, and now it's being pushed back to I think it's April 27th. I want to say, and April 27th for the US and April 29th in the UK. And honestly, I'm not mad about it, and I'm not surprised about it. I mean, if you have to take more time to make sure your game isn't a steaming pile of crap like certain Assassin's Creed titles that keep getting released every single year, okay.
Wink, wink, Ubisoft. Wink, wink.
Okay.
Honestly, I bet you it was just like optimization for the multiplayer and social media features. Because like, I remember with Uncharted 3, one of their big things was once they had developed the game, they had to add in like the social networking options.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like they added that to the beta and it just didn't work.
You just won. Would you like to post this to Facebook? Yeah, so my mom can see it because she cares. Good job, son. Wonderful
Really?
job. Nah, none of that. This is going to be the first Uncharted game that's not being developed for last gen, right? Not going to be on PS3, right?
I don't think they're having two versions now. I think it's just going to be strictly on PS4.
Good.
Yeah, that's a good point. All three Uncharteds were on... Oh, no, that's not true. There was an Uncharted for the Vita.
That was actually a pretty good
the main-
game.
I'm sorry, the what? There was an Uncharted for the what?
That thing.
It was a secret project. Sony never really released it. Don't worry about it.
It's kind of like the Nintendo PSX. There's a couple fabled copies out there in the world somewhere. But,
Hey guys, I think I have one.
Oh, what?
Don't tell anyone.
Do you mean this door stopper I have sitting on my desk? That's one of these things?
Yeah, man.
PlayStation certainly isn't going to tell anyone. Don't worry about that.
No,
Yeah.
the poor
Poor
Vita.
to believe that never happens.
Yeah, poor Vita. It's such a good little handheld too. Super powerful.
Vita means life, except in this case.
Yeah. RIP. R.I.P. Moment of silence for the PlayStation Vita. But yeah, so this is going to be developed strictly for PlayStation 4, and I think that's a good thing. I know there's a lot of people who are still on last gen, and I certainly don't want them to be deprived of games. But we're at the point in this gaming industry's life cycle where we need to move on to new hardware. It's time to develop strictly for new hardware, because developing for last gen as well as new gen concurrently, it really cuts. It really hampers development. I mean, we see that happening all the time in games, especially in. I think the best example of this would be Destiny. A lot of the reasons why Destiny was held back in year one between storage space in the vault and the game being 30 FPS rather than 60, when it should be capable of that on the PlayStation 4. At least we hope. A lot of those reasons stem from them having to develop the game for last gen as well as the PS4 and Xbox One consoles.
Yeah, you got a carpet bomb early in console
Yep.
lifespan, because like I would like to say like any good like diehard fan of a console would, oh yeah, I'll upgrade like maybe within the first year. Mm-hmm. But some can't, and so a lot of developers will just kind of carpet bomb everywhere they can, especially multi-console. Like if they're going to be developing for Xbox One and PS4, like it makes all the much more sense to put it on Xbox 360 and PS3.
Yeah.
Because it's already got to be malleable enough to port to different consoles. So, I don't know. Like, I really, really hope that Destiny 2 or whatever is going to be only next... Or I keep saying next gen, but it's current gen. It doesn't feel like current gen still, somehow.
It needs to be PC, too.
It does.
And
it needs to be PC. I think we all agree on that one. Destiny 2 definitely needs to be PC.
Yeah. This
It's
Destiny
too big of a
needs to be
franchise.
PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't understand why it's not on PC. I mean, was there some sort of backdoor... No, there couldn't have been a deal between the companies of Sony and Microsoft, because Microsoft makes PCs. I really don't understand why Destiny's not on a PC, especially considering Bungie, has a pretty big history of porting at least some of the Halo games to PC.
Well, I'm going to tell you, okay, trivia question. Who ported the first Halo to PC?
I have no idea.
Gearbox.
Was it Gearbox, really?
Yep,
That's
that's one of
right.
their first projects.
Well,
wink.
Yeah,
somebody...
I was going to say, I remember there being a documentary where they said that they because Halo was originally developed for Macs, and Microsoft bought them up to promote their new Direct Xbox. And originally it was only going to be a console thing, and then because it was like already like built for a computer like interface, like they were able to do it or something. Mm-hmm. So
interesting. But yeah, so I in terms of Uncharted, I'm not mad about it being delayed. If anything, it's probably going to be a good thing. A little bit of extra time in the oven is probably for the best when it comes to a game that's going to be the size and scale of Uncharted 4.
Yeah, and especially with I don't know if you knew this, but they lost a lot of their staff.
Oh yeah, they did last year
when they were debating whether or not to start running with The Last of Us as a series as opposed to just a one-off.
They lost their head writer, didn't they?
Yeah, Amy Hennig, I think.
Yeah, she was a big name story developer for Naughty Dog. She'd been there for a while too, hadn't she?
Yeah. I don't think she wrote Golden Abyss, so I think we can expect about that level of quality from this story. And Golden Abyss was pretty okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad game. It wasn't a bad game at all.
Aside from the touchpad sections, Golden Abyss was still a pretty good game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
About as good as it was going to get on Vita anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you think of a single Vita game that has decent touchpad integration? I can't.
Tearaway, that's it.
Tearaway? Okay, maybe Tearaway, yeah. But yeah, okay, so Uncharted 4. I'm looking forward to it, Naughty
I'm looking
Dog.
forward to the beta.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to play the multiplayer beta, did you?
Oh, nobody has. I don't think that's out yet.
Really? I was pretty sure the multiplayer beta came out and it was available to people who had...
I think it was only at PSX.
It was
really?
available.
Was it? Yeah, because it was available for people who bought the Nathan Drake collection, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh,
I bought the Nathan Drake collection.
Did you miss out on the beta?
You missed
guess I
out.
did.
Yeah, you missed out because I saw Triple Rec streaming it the other. I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, LP was streaming it too.
Yeah.
That's a shame because the Nathan Drake collection, not great.
Really? Is it not a great port?
It's not bad, like in any capacity. It's just they changed a few things, and like textures and character models and things like that. And there's a new lighting engine, and the game isn't meant to run with any of those things.
Oh yeah.
So when the cutscenes that are running an engine happen, things like pitch black eyeballs and no teeth happen.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
That's like weird Skyrim graphical glitches. Yeesh.
So far, I've only played Uncharted 2, though, so...
Of course, that's the best one, so why would you play anything else?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm not mad about the delay for Uncharted 4. I think it's going to be a fantastic cinematic experience overall. And for the most part, Naughty Dog isn't a scummy company, so I don't really think there's anything to worry about.
Oh, no.
But speaking of scummy companies, you know who is a scummy company? Konami. Or should we say, the gaming developer formerly known as Konami.
Pachinko Parlor Konami.
Pachinko Parlor Konami. Pull the lever. No, don't do that. Don't give them any sort of publicity for that. But there are some glad tidings that came out of that over the course of last month, the last month of 2015. Hideo Kojima is finally free, baby. He is finally free of Konami's evil grasps. His last day with the company was, December 15th, I want to say?
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe it was December 15th. And he immediately left. The same day, formulated a new studio called Kojima Productions. Kind of a familiar name. Weird.
I feel like I've heard that before.
And then partnered up with Sony. Fantastic. What do you guys think?
Well, first of all, I'd like to think that this means that maybe he'll get to work with Guillermo del Toro and not get screwed over.
Please.
So that there will be no more greasy tears for del Toro.
You don't even have to call it Silent Hills. You can call it Quiet Mountains.
Yeah, seriously.
Somber rollovers, whatever you want to call it.
Whispering Valleys.
Whispering
something.
Whispering Valleys is actually not bad.
But yeah, like, should we give a quick recap of like all the things that have been happening with Kojima and Konami?
We might as well to get
who don't.
We might want to touch on
get people up
Ego
to
as
speed.
well. We might want to touch on that because that happened like earlier last year, right? Ego left.
I want to. Wasn't that 2014?
Was it?
Or did he leave in 2015?
I'm not sure, but that was the first telltale sign that something's wrong.
All the big developers were bailing shit from Konami.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Ego was the head behind Castlevania.
Igarashi, right?
Yeah,
Yep, Koji Igarashi.
And he left, and that was the first sign that something's up. There could be some more things to come. Little did we know that it'd blow up like this. And
I believe a lot of the senior staff have left at this point.
Yeah, a lot of the developers too.
The problem with this is Kojima was kind of a mascot at Konami, and so I have a feeling they were very reluctant to let their mascot go because like stockholders see that and
Panic.
They panic. Sheer chaos. They jump ship. Metal Gear is like one of the main pillars of Konami. And so Kojima is making this big budget game that's blowing millions and millions of dollars to make. And so Konami's not making money, they're bleeding money.
Mm-hmm.
And also they're trying to get their senior staff out of there so that they can create this new Konami with like the pachinko parlors and mobile games and things of that nature. So like they're losing on two fronts. And so they're just kind of treating Hideo Kojima like, I don't even know what the word would be. Like, they were like, he wasn't allowed to speak to anyone in the press. He couldn't go to events or speak on behalf of Konami.
Yeah, very famously was barred from going to Jeff Keighley's Video Game Awards.
Yeah,
and
that was probably the most recent one, the most popular one.
Yep.
So Hideo Kojima kind of dropped off the map for a little while. Weird things were going on with the development of Metal Gear, like no David Hayter, that kind of stuff. There were just red flags everywhere. And just about towards the end of the development of Metal Gear, right after they declared the game's going gold, Kojima goes on vacation, quote unquote.
Vacation, yeah, is what Konami called it.
A lot of reporters are saying he's left. Like, he already did. He's parted ways with the company as of months ago. And Konami, no. No, he's still with us. He has a very long career ahead of him working at Konami, the wonderful company that is blessed by the gods. You don't need to worry about Kojima. This happens again. Like, Kojima just goes on complete radio silence. He's not answering tweets. He's not going through his emails. Nothing. Kojima has disappeared, and people are speculating that he had already left. Then the game comes out, and I think he was allowed to go to a Konami-sponsored signing event. And then that was the last anybody heard of him for a really long time, until he goes on another vacation, quote-unquote. And it was like a week later that it was found out that he actually left.
Yeah, and then that brings us to December 15th when he was finally set free, and it was confirmed he is no longer employed at Konami. And, this is something you and I talked about almost a year ago now, that you picked up on earlier between shareholders. Konami did, under the threat of legal force, try to keep a lot of this quiet because they didn't want to threaten the release of Metal Gear Solid 5. The last thing shareholders ever want to hear, for you guys out there, let me give you a business lesson. The last thing your shareholders ever want to hear is uncertainty rumbling in the community before a big AAA release. So it's no wonder they used legal force to keep him quiet. Until the release of Metal Gear Solid 5, it had a couple of months of being out, making money, getting awards all over the place before, it could publicly be reported that Kojima's free. And you know what? It's been a long, rough road, but he's finally here. And he's set up his brand new studio, Kojima Productions, is partnered with Sony to bring us something. Apparently, they've already started their first game, and I, for one, can't wait to see what it's going to be.
Honestly, I hope it's something in lieu of his older things. Like Zone of the Enders or Snatchers or things like that. Because, let's face it, Konami basically forced Kojima to continue to make Metal Gears. And while they were all phenomenal and we all love them, I would love to see him completely unrestricted, just coming up with a brand new idea.
Well, maybe not completely unrestricted. He does have a habit of blowing through huge budgets. He's never failed. He's never failed to bring us a great product. But
that's why I said unrestricted, because I don't know if it's just because he's particularly charismatic, but he gets funds from somewhere and he does whatever he wants. Like, there was this report that the composer for Metal Gear Solid 5 would come to him with like a dozen, 24 songs, and he would say, "These are all amazing. I'm throwing away 80% of them,
and we're going to
and they're just gone." And she's already been paid.
Yeah.
So that's millions of dollars down the tube for money for songs that will never see the light of day.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of being a creative director, deciding what exactly you want in your product. So, it's all a part of the game building process. And you can definitely see some of the effects of it. Again, something you talked about was the way Metal Gear Solid 5 itself was handled. You can tell by the time you get to the end of Metal Gear Solid 5's story mode, you can really tell it's missing a lot of content. The end of the game, in several places. The end of the game in particular was essentially never completed, and so it's just not in the game. When you finish the story for Metal Gear Solid 5, it leaves so many openings that were so obviously in production that just hadn't been finished yet. But in order to have the game out of the door by September, and I'm guessing in order to cut down on the development costs, Konami literally just cut it all out. And some of that's still on disc. You guys can go over onto YouTube and look for some of the hidden chapters, you could call them. There's a lot of information that was pulled from inside the game's files that show off the complete third act, what was going to happen with that. Again, we got John here, so he doesn't know the end of the story yet, so I can't spoil too much of what's going on there, but there was a lot more that was supposed to happen at the end there. And if you beat the game, you can feel it. You can see it.
All you need to know is vocal cord parasites.
Pretty much. Vocal cord parasites.
Do those come back and just make like a huge splash in like the third act?
Yes.
Not like these.
Yes.
Those
and it's all...
Those things are creepy.
And it's all one idiot little kid's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Liquid?
Well, two idiot little kids' faults. One slightly taller than the other.
Yeah,
one
one
wears glasses and has robot legs.
You calling Huey a kid? Well, I guess.
I
guess he is. Yeah.
How are you defending Huey?
Huey.
Yeah, I guess. That is true.
I love Huey.
The
man's a child. The man's a child.
As a guy who barreled through, and I'm not really going to spoil anything, so partial spoil alerts right now for you listeners out there who haven't really played through Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. But I played through Peace Walker, and I love Peace Walker. So I was a fan of Huey. And then it's like, why you do this to Huey, Kojima? But why, though? Why?
He's like a little baby now. Nate's kind of right. He is kind of just a slightly taller teenager with robot legs.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on Konami's next... Or not Konami, Kojima's next product.
Konami's next product.
Pachinko
Machine 9000.
Yeah, basically.
But
honestly,
go for it.
Kojima could make a mobile game, and it would just sell like hotcakes. It'd just be like the greatest mobile game ever, like just as like a concept. But I mean, I know he's not going to do that to us. He's not going to push out a mobile game. But let's say, like, if he did, we wouldn't fault him for it. He's like, you know what? My creative mind is telling me that I want to make a mobile game, and Sony's like, here's the money.
Just make it rain.
Yeah, just make it rain. Just here's the money. Like, here's all you need. He's like, cool, I'll make it.
I think that would have been much more likely if he had to start his own company from the ground up and wasn't sponsored by PlayStation, because a mobile game is exactly what you need to get yourself off the ground.
Get started, yeah.
But I mean, Kojima being the man that he is, I mean, his imagination is unlimited. So I can't imagine he would, like, if I can see his company maybe making a mobile game, but I don't know.
I was just saying, like, as a concept, like, he could just give us a mobile game and we'd be like, okay, it's Kojima, that's cool. I mean, we wouldn't really fault him for it. Typically, a lot of the hardcore gamers, I mean, or older gamers, we kind of look down a little bit on mobile games, just a smidgen, because let's be real, they're kind of money grabbers.
Typically, yeah, absolutely.
It's what they are. It's lucrative. It's what's in now. A lot of people like mobile games. They're cheap and they sell plenty of copies. But if Kojima like came out and said, you know, mobile games are in right now, I'm gonna make the best one ever, we'd be like, go for it, dude.
All right, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I mean,
So what you're telling me is that Kojima is going to unveil Flappy Gear for 2016.
He's on
or
me.
Police Knots too.
But I'm sure what he has in store for us is going to be probably one of the best AAA titles of probably 2017. Because let's be real, it's going to be maybe even like 2018. It's going to.
I would say probably 2018. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit before we get any type of news. Maybe like E3 next year, or possibly Tokyo Game Show this year. Mm-hmm. Or maybe even PSX. Sony may want to keep it exclusive to their own conference.
Yeah, I can see some concepts being released, but I mean,
yeah,
a year's less than a year is kind of small for like a turnaround for a game. So
yeah, I would say 2017 at the earliest.
Is when we're getting any news.
More realistically, would be like 2018. But
I can see Kojima showing up and giving like a company statement, like, we at Kojima Productions believe that imagination is unlimited, and then like a picture of a snatcher appears, but it's not quite a snatcher or something.
You know, speaking of imagination unlimited, one of the things that gets me absolutely the most excited about this is the fact that he's his own man now. He's under no one's thumb. He's his own boss. I mean, yeah, you could technically say Sony, the people who are throwing money at him right now, do have a say in his creative control, but not to the extent that Konami had. He owns his own production studio now that's separate from just about everything else. He can make what he wants, and that is mind-blowingly awesome to me, because the one thing that's always held Kojima back in his games was just not being able to do everything he wanted to do with the game. That's one of the things he complains about the most, that he couldn't quite do everything that he dreamed of.
And that is with the crazy games that we got. Like,
yeah.
Some of the things you see coming out of Kojima Studios back in the day, like, you would think to yourself, like, wow, that guy must just be allowed to do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. But even that is with restrictions.
That was with a leash, yeah.
And from what I understand, I could be wrong, but PlayStation is one of the most, like, lenient. Like, Nintendo's fairly firm with their mission statement of, like, not family friendly, but I mean, like, they have very specific guidelines for what is and what is not a Nintendo game. Mm-hmm. Xbox as well, like, they love their shooters, and you know, there's like an Xbox feel. PlayStation, they do whatever. They'll make Flower, and then they'll make
God of War.
God of War.
Yeah. So,
and then Little Big Planet, you know.
Play, Create, Share is done. So I can see them just letting him do anything.
Just throwing money at it and letting it stick. And that's probably exactly what they're going to do, at least for this first project. To be like, whatever you're making, here's some funding for it. Put it on PlayStation 4.
I mean, hell, they adopted Street Fighter just to make sure that there was another Street Fighter coming.
They did. I will give them all the credit in the world for that. That's why Street Fighter V is so focused on PS4. Sony pretty much fronted the money for its development.
Who's ready for Evo? I am.
Big tournament height. At least they still have
Evo.
Smash.
I'm ready.
Big things all year round.
Yeah, we're just
But
kind of
all right.
rambling.
2016 is going to be a good year.
It's going to be a good year. We've got a lot of things to look forward to.
It's going to be a good year for podcasting.
Oh, this man with the positive outlook for 2016 on the very first day of 2016. But all right, guys, that's going to about wrap up the End of the Week podcast. Before we close things out, we're going to take a quick second to tell you where you can find us on the internet if you'd like to hear or see more of what we do. John, where can they find you?
Just on your channel, I guess, because I don't. Because I
They could look.
Okay,
They might
this-
be able to look on the internet, maybe.
I scarcely make YouTube comment because my upload speed is abysmal. So if I upload like 30 or 40-second clips of me doing some random stuff or the game like glitching out on me, yeah, just if you want to subscribe to YouTube and just watch funny videos once every couple months, go for it.
YouTube.com/BlackFox. BLKVOX.
You don't have to because I rarely upload. But yeah, I don't have any social media because I think it's a waste of time. But that's just me.
Make a Twitter B.
I probably should.
Make a Twitter B.
I think I have one. I just need to
Do it right now. Make a Twitter B.
like these.
Make a Twitter.
All right.
Nate, where can they find you on the interwebs?
I have a few accounts. I have my old EOTW podcast account on YouTube. That was back from when EOTW podcast was a thing way back in the day.
I used to upload to it. I was the video guy.
Yeah. I have my Nathan Donahue designs at gmail.com YouTube, where you can find nothing. I have like a quick a speed drawing on there, and that's about it. I've always toyed around with the idea of doing Let's Plays, and if I get the time, I may do one. But yeah, if you want to see any content featuring me and Sean, go check us out at EOTW Podcast on YouTube. No spaces, dashes, or hyphens. And I've got a Pikmin Let's Play there. That's okay. I've got like 2 episodes of a Skyward Sword Let's Play.
I warn you guys, this is from like several years ago, so some of the stuff with me is embarrassingly bad.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I would say some of the stuff with me is embarrassingly bad, but
Good stuff, good stuff. Also, if you guys are wondering, Nate, this guy right here is the one who did all of my channel art and my avatar.
that's the truth. That is true.
So-
And I'm going to be doing that much more in the future for EOTW Podcast and other affiliated channels. So
Big.
look forward to that.
And of course, you guys know where you can find me. I am pretty much everywhere on the internet as TheBlackLink, all one word. I still haven't found anybody else who's taken that username, and I hope I never do. Be sure to check me out on YouTube at youtube.com/TheBlackLink, and check out my streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/TheBlackLink. Can't wait to see you guys there. But alright, that about concludes the very first episode of the EOTW podcast. I'd say it's been a success. What do you guys think?
Woot woot.
Woot woot.
Yee.
Yee. Jay had to leave, so that's why you didn't hear anything from him.
Yeah, he abandoned us about halfway through. We were too boring for him.
I ain't got time for this crap.
Traitor.
Y'all ain't even funny.
He had to go meet his friends and play Yu-Gi-Oh or something. I don't know.
Damn, savage.
Yu-Gi-Oh! In the library at 8 o'clock at night. That's Jay's life. But alright guys, if you'd like to listen to the longer version of this podcast, it's about 15 to 20 minutes longer than the video version here on YouTube. There will be a link to it in the description box below. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and as always, I am TheBlackLink. You guys stay frosty.